Hey guys, we have the full harvest moon at 17 degrees of Pisces occurring on September 10th at 2:58 a.m. Pacific, which would be 5:58 a.m. Eastern. Check your local time to see when this lunation is occurring for you. And I have to say, on an energetic level, compared to the last lunations we had, the Aquarius full moon and the Virgo new moon, this one is actually kind of tame. I mean, we have some things, but it's tame in comparison. With the Pisces full moon, sometimes that's not the case, so we will take what we can get. And this happens to be a harvest moon because we are approaching the equinox points. In the northern hemisphere, we are going towards the autumn equinox, the fall equinox, and in the southern hemisphere, they're going into their spring equinox. All of this generally happens around September. It happens around a full moon in September. There are some years where this may vary. There are some years where this may occur at the end of the month or somewhere smack dab in the middle of the month. It all depends on the current placements of the lunations that we're having because they do move around from year to year. And looking at the vibes on the graph, we only have a few vibes going on. And I'm happy to see the vibes that we have. We've got some low-grade stuff going on, but that low-grade stuff is mostly in the background. Again, this being a Pisces lunation, this being a Pisces full moon, I am really happy to see that it has less stuff going on with it because sometimes it could be a harder energy to deal with. But we have a ton of ambition and drive that's going on for a couple of days from the 10th to the 11th, but that ambitious energy will taper down as we get to the 11th. Luckily, we do have romantic energy that's surging around the 11th, so that's going to bring in a nice charming tone. That's going to bring in a flirtatious tone. So things might feel ultra romantic at that point in time. So now that we're at the peak of this lunar cycle, think back to what was going on with you 6 months ago involving Piscean themes. What were you doing during the new moon in Pisces around March 2nd of this year? What type of Piscean positive qualities were you trying to adopt into your life? New moons are where we adopt the positive attributes of the sign and we try to make it happen for ourselves within that energy. If you were trying to incorporate positive Piscean themes in your life, is this a point where everything is working for you? Is this a point where something needs to be tweaked? Or is this a point where something needs to be let go of? During full moons, we look at what we can move forward with. We look at what finishing touches needs to be put on something and just something that is just absolutely not working and we need to let go of in our life because full moons do involve endings in some sorts of ways. With this Piscean energy, have you learned to gain faith back in yourself? Have you learned how to be more compassionate with yourself? Pisces energy is about compassion, it's about faith, it's about belief, and there are periods and times where we've lost that faith in ourselves, we lost belief in ourselves or belief in other people, belief in certain things, and there are a lot of times where we're hard on ourselves. We're not showing ourselves the grace that we would show other people. We're not showing ourselves the compassion that we would show other people. So has this been a period where you've been working on that? Have you gained your faith back in yourself? Have you learned how to love yourself or be more gentle with yourself? And speaking of belief, has your belief in people, situations, religion, or spiritual ideals changed in some sort of way? You know, whether that be for positive reasons, whether that be for indifferent reasons, whether that be for reasons that are really uncomfortable, has that shifted in some sort of way? Sometimes with the Piscean energy, if you've been working on this, you might have been working on feeling like you need to believe in people again. Again, not just ourselves. Sometimes we have to learn how to believe in other people. Sometimes we also need to find a new belief system if one belief system is no longer serving us and hasn't been working for us. This could have been a period where you've been reconnecting with some sort of spirituality, and it doesn't have to be spirituality, it could be religious stuff. Maybe you're reconnecting with a religion you walked away from, long ago, or maybe you might be disconnecting from religion in some sort of way and going more the spiritual route. And of course, this could be losing belief in all those things. This could be losing belief in a lot of people. And so this could have been a period where, sometimes unfortunately that needs to happen so that way we can move away from situations that are not healthy for us. Pisces is about learning how to trust again, but at the same time, there is a slippery slope within this energy. Obviously, there always is with any sort of sign. It doesn't matter what sign it is, but this could have been a period where you are working on being more trustful of other people, or it could be a situation where people are learning to retrust you for some sort of reason. Tying in with the word trust and all these other things to do with belief, has this been a period where energy has revealed itself to you or situations have revealed themselves to you? In other words, has this been a period where deceptive situations have finally revealed themselves? One of the chart rulers, the modern ruler, Neptune, happens to be in retrograde. When Neptune's in retrograde, it reveals a lot of secrets, or it opens our eyes up to things that we were either in denial about, or we were just letting it roll off our back, or just pretending it wasn't happening, which is obviously denial. But it could be one of those situations where, you're finally seeing the full naked truth of a situation, whether that be relationship-wise, whether that be career-wise, whether that be personal life, whether that be a discovery about yourself that maybe there might have been some sort of self-delusion about. This could be a period where you're starting to come to a realization where the wool might have been pulled over your eyes. And if so, has this been a period of moving forward from deceptive, disingenuous situations in your life? Has this been a period of walking away from untrustworthy people and untrustworthy situations? Has this been a period where you're learning the fine balance of sacrifice? Piscean energy shows us where we make sacrifices. The area where you have Pisces in your chart is where you're going to see where sacrifices are made. And so this could be a period where you're making sacrifices, healthy sacrifices to things where either you need to pay it forward in some sort of way, or you're having to make some sort of space in your life for what's more important. Sometimes the sacrifices that we do aren't dire sacrifices or crazy sacrifices. Sometimes it's all about we need to be more productive in that area of our life. And so we're making sacrifices. We're not necessarily binge watching Twitch streams or a ton of YouTube videos at the moment. That right there is actually a sacrifice. That's a healthy sacrifice. Sometimes it's not gaming as much because we need to be more present within our lives, or backing off of social media a bit because, again, we need to be more present in our lives. Or it could be something like cleaning up your diet because you're wanting to get healthy. You're wanting your body to be a fully functioning, well-oiled machine. And a lot of the times that takes discipline and sacrifice. I generally don't use the words discipline and sacrifice. Well, I generally don't use the words discipline when it comes to Pisces, but when we look at the sacrificial end, that definitely requires some sort of willpower. So in this energy, you could have been making sacrifices like that. Like I said, when you hear the word sacrifice, sometimes it sounds heavy, and it can be heavy depending on the circumstances, but sometimes it's stuff like that. Sometimes it's the little things that we do that add up that are causing problems within our lives or preventing us from getting to the next level. And so this might have been a period where you're letting go of those things that are frivolous. Speaking of which, has this been a time where you've learned the healthy art of escapism? In other words, sometimes we do need to decompress and we need to escape, but we have to do it in a way that's healthy. We have to do it in a way where we don't ignore our problems and going back to binge watching Twitch and doing a whole bunch of other stuff like that. That could be a problem. There are certain days where we've worked our asses off and we completely deserve that day to veg out, and then there are other days where that may not be healthy for us because it's, again, preventing us from getting to the next level in our lives. And of course, there's always the unhealthy sides of, even more unhealthy sides of escapism, and that could be substances and things like that. So this could be a period of cleaning your act up in that sort of way. With Pisces, if you want to find healthy escapism, a lot of the times it's through creativity, it's through art, it's through losing yourself through music and things like that. So this could have been a period where you're trading off those unhealthy things for something more healthy within this energy. Like the spirituality, has this been a time where you've been tapping into your spirituality? Has this been a time where you might have been experiencing some sort of spiritual awakening of sorts, or trying to strengthen your psychic awareness, or finding soothing practices that help your mind, body, and spirit? With a lot of things to do with spirituality, has this been a time of healing? Has this been a time where you've been practicing healing arts? And this could be Reiki or other healing ceremonies that people do to purge their bodies of unhealthy things, to clear their chakras, to make sure their aura is balanced. Have you been doing some of that? Have you found yourself delving deep into those modalities to help yourself energetically? So hopefully this has been a great period for you energetically in terms of Piscean things. So if you've been doing the work, give yourself more grace and compassion and continue to work on being high vibrational. Let's look at these transits and see what we can expect from this lunation. As a reminder, don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps this channel grow. And if you'd like to support the work of this channel, you could do so by buying me a fresh cup of coffee. There's a link in the description box below. So for the most part, we have a mixed bag of alignments. There are definitely some heavy ones, but there are also some saving graces that are going on during this lunation. The moon and the sun are making squares to Mars, and because the moon and sun are in opposition as they are during full moons, we have a T-square that's going on with Mars at the apex point. This may be a period where information isn't coming out the way it should. This may be a period where we're dealing with a bit of misinformation. And the results of that could end up in a blow-up. It could end up in tempers flaring up. It could lead to overreacting. So that's something that we definitely want to be aware of during this. There's a lot of emotion that pops up during this lunation, especially with some of the configurations that's going on with those T-squares that are occurring. And there's also two yods that aren't necessarily hitting the moon, but one of the yods is hitting one of the chart rulers. The chart rulers for this lunation are Jupiter and Neptune. Jupiter is the ancient ruler of Pisces. Neptune is the modern ruler, but we also have the ruler for the sun, which is Mercury. And Mercury right now, Mercury happens to be stationing retrograde at this point, so this can cause some complications during this lunation in terms of our communication, especially when it comes down to our relationships, romantic relationships specifically. Definitely look at what was going on over the last few weeks when it comes down to relationship things or fairness, because those things can come up during this lunation if a situation's been unfair, or there could have been some sort of misinformation or unintentional misinformation, or even situations where omissions have happened. Omissions are not unintentional. When people omit, they omit on purpose. So there could have been situations like that that pop up in this energy. And Mercury and Jupiter happen to be making connections with one another that are difficult. And again, this is furthering that lack of communication. This is furthering some fogginess when it comes down to the facts of a situation. Communication or the way something is said can get blown out of proportion within this energy. And when Jupiter and Mercury get together in this way, a lot of the times we could deal with people who have huge egos. We could deal with people who are braggadocious overall, or we can have situations with people who are trying to one-up us. So this could be an uncomfortable energy as a result. The Sun and Venus are making connections to Juno and this moon along with Neptune. So this could also cause more foggier situations when it comes down to relationships and finances. Make sure you have all the facts and details before you react, because it could result in a blow up that you don't want. But luckily the Sun is conjunct Venus, and the moon and the Sun are making connections to the lunar nodes and Uranus in a harmonious way. So that may soften some of the energies. It may cause situations that turned into a blow up to ease up easier than normal. It is going to bring a romantic tone in the air for healthy relationships, so that's always nice. Also, both chart rulers are participating in a lovely alignment with Mars right now, so hopefully Mars saves the day. Again, Mars is one of those planets, and Mars being in shadow is just one of those planets that you don't expect to save the day, but Mars tends to do that. So there could be moments where we're able to capitalize on opportunities that can help us grow, capitalize on opportunities that can help us understand what's going on, and take action on situations that are hard to solve and require some sort of resolution on our part. So yeah, this lunation, again, mixed bag. Yes, there are some hard things going on. There are some yods going on, which can create further confusion and blind spots. So there's that as well. But at the same time, there are some sweet spots here, and there are some opportunities with this moon that we can capitalize on. So let's use this Pisces moon to our advantage and to discard things that no longer serve us. Anyway, I hope you all have the best full moon in Pisces ever.